Welcome, everyone. Fred Glick here again with Bill DeWeese for the weekly roundup. We're doing this on Friday morning. So, Bill, tell us about the week.
Well, Fred, first of all, let's start with our total. This week was $4,854. So more than doubled from last week. So that's always a relief. That's a good thing.
Yes. The sky is not falling.
I received an email this week from somebody who said, $2,000 is a bad week? And I totally get it. So I just want to restate, it wasn't that it was a bad week. It's just that when you set a precedent and you're on a certain trajectory, you're trying to increase it. So that's why,
Not only that, but folks, remember that comparisons as it relates to anything is based on personal achievement, not other achievement.
Yeah, so don't compare it to yourself or anybody. I mean, I really try not to compare myself to people who are making $6 million a year. That's right. It's just not fair to yourself to do that. It's very depressing. So it's all relative. Monday, as usual, I started off with work for New Mexico PBS, doing my weekly promos for them. I did an explainer video for something called Manhattan Next, and I don't even remember what that was. It had to do with Manhattan, New York, though. Some IT narration for Oracle, some CAD software training, and that was Monday. Tuesday, I did a financial explainer video regarding Brexit and retirement, and what we should be doing as we look ahead.
What was that for?
It was for it's a media company that produces videos for financial companies. And speaking of financial companies, I also did a narration for a Scandinavian company called Skagen Funds, and more CAD training and then I did Cisco training as well. So this week I had like Oracle and Cisco and Hitachi and one other I can't remember offhand. A lot of IT narration. Wednesday I've been doing a series of car repair, interactive telephone messaging things. I did some more of that. Cisco, worked for Cisco, and then there's an auto chain called Superior Auto, and I did their July 4th ad for them. This weekend only. I mean, it was really big, high energy kind of stuff. On Thursday, yesterday was relatively slow. I only recorded one project for Harris Teeter grocery store. Did some more stuff for them, which I've been doing. I've been doing a series of work for them. And then today, I did an IT narration this morning. I did Hitachi this afternoon. I did some more of that car repair, interactive telephone stuff. And then I did another market report recording, kind of a recap of the markets for June today for that company that I mentioned earlier.
I was going to ask you what you learned, but before I do that, I was going to ask you about the fact that since your personality, and I remember years ago when you had that audition to be the fight announcer for UFC or whatever the heck it was in Vegas, and I was thinking to myself, when people ask you to do that sort of, the kind of stuff that more my personality, I mean, and it seems as if it doesn't really kind of fit who you are. How much more difficult is it to do that than to do other narration or other kinds of work?
You might find this hard to believe. I don't find it harder at all because I have done thousands over the course of my radio career as well as voiceover career. I've done tons of super high-powered promos, and so and the reference you were making to was a live event. So you won't see me physically probably but vocally, I can do and I get hired for a lot of direct response ads too, because I've done so much of it. I can punch it when I need to. So I do tire quickly because it requires a lot of energy, but I don't find, doing a 30-second spot, 60-second spot, I don't find it hard at all. It's really, because I've just done so many thousands of them, it's relatively easy.
That's interesting. Yeah. So other than that, what other things can, people take away from your week this week?
Well, here's an interesting note, Fred. My goal, one of my major goals, in addition to a financial goal, is to get 2 to 3 new clients a week to make sure. I had no new clients this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
It's funny. There were several things in the works that I was contacted about last week that are still hanging out there. So oftentimes, even when a client gets back to you and says, okay, we really like this, we're just finalizing the script, it can take a week or two or a month sometimes to get that. Even that being said, I still wish I'd had 2 new clients this week. I think a lot of it has to do with I've been auditioning much more in the past 2 weeks, but what is done today, what I get today would be more reflective of what I would have done a month ago. So things tend to be on more of a 4 or 5 week delay in that way. So,
right. So I guess most people either listening or watching would ask the question, so when you land a new client, what's the average length of time before you start generating money from them?
I can't really put a hard number on that, but it's oftentimes weeks. It can be 2, 3, 4, 5, or more, sometimes months.
Do you have any data to report also for us on the Adobe Audition and how many hours you spent on
Oh, no,
it?
you know what? I started using a new computer this week, and I haven't installed that yet. So my bad on that one. No, I didn't do it this week.
That'll be now. Why did you switch computers?
Because I've got my son is now using my MacBook Pro, and he's helping me do some graphic design stuff. And so I went, instead of with a portable, I got an iMac to put in my studio, because it gets used all the time anyhow, so I figured I might as well just, have one that's stationary.
Now remember, we want to keep everything within the family, but Kayla's got the whole art side too. So, anything we need in that area, she'll be very much appreciated.
Well, she's amazing, so she'd definitely be the first choice there.
Yeah, and good. So tell us a little bit about, is there anything, when you get to a holiday like this, does it oftentimes then, do you see the dip before or after? Because it's 4th of July weekend here.
Usually both. Things start to die down toward the end of the week, and then usually it takes another day for things to pick up afterwards, because people are still kind of, I guess, the holiday hangover kind of thing, they're kind of getting back into the groove. So usually a little before and after. Now next week is going to be interesting. I'm going to keep an eye out on Monday for any European or out-of-state clients that might need work, and I'll do that. But Tuesday, Vicky's got us tickets to see the Cubs and the Reds play.
Yeah,
and so
we'll
be going.
More important than any voiceover job.
Absolutely. So I expect a lot will be. People start to send stuff in Tuesday, but I won't be around. But we'll see how much work I can do on Thursday and Friday of next week.
So now Mallory's not going to that game now, right?
No, that'll just be me and Vicky, just a date.
She'll be sitting here trying to fend off all the people wanting it.
That's right. And I think we're sitting on a rooftop across from the stadium, right? One of the rooftop. Have you ever seen on TV when you watch that Wrigley Field, the people who sit on? Well, you've been to Chicago. They sit on the rooftops across from Wrigley Field, across the street. She bought seats because they have their own things. People have their own setups on the top of their buildings. And so we bought seats to that. They cater, and it's a whole big thing.
Cool.
Yeah, we've never done that before.
It's the ones that, you can almost get hit by a ball if that's close, right? Because it's just outside.
It's right field, just out of right field and across the street. And it's like you'd be in the stadium if you're at most other stadiums, but there's no seats back that far there.
Well, there you have it, folks. So that's the real important stuff for today and this week. So, Bill, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Fred. Appreciate it.